Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another Valorant video. Today I will be showing you guys how to get a perfect mouse sensitivity in Valorant. This is going to be obviously subjective from person to person. There's no one perfect mouse sensitivity, but there are many thought processes that go into it. So first of all, just a big disclaimer, don't just copy other people's sensitivities. I will explain to you why not every sensitivity works for everybody. But I also have this belief that if you're actually a really good player, you can play at any sensitivity or any resolution or any settings. I really believe in that. However, this video is meant to, I guess, enable you to have a more comfortable sensitivity that allows you to actually get better and does not hold you back. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to find out what mouse we have. I'm personally using a Logitech G203. And for the mouse pad, I think I'm using an QCK Plus. It's a really old mouse pad. I bought it in like 2015. That being said, these are both very cheap. I will leave the links for the Amazon products in the description. I think the mouse was like $19.99 when I bought it, and the mouse pad was like probably even more expensive than the mouse. But as I said, I was like in 2015 when gaming products were a little bit more expensive than now. Anyways, that being said, the main reason why I'm showing you these products is because one, you do want to have a pretty big mouse pad. I'm not talking about those like massive across 3 freaking tables mouse pads, just big enough for your comfort zone. And 2, you want to have a mouse which can set your DPI to 800. Why 800? Yeti, why are you giving us the numbers we should use? Listen, 800 is the best one. I use 3 monitors and I can get around with 800. If I would have 1 monitor, 800 would be still okay, you know, because like some people are like 400, but as long as you're actually working on your PC more and using your Windows a lot, 400 is way too low. I hate it, and I think most of you guys will probably dislike it as well, especially if you aren't an FPS player from before. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we will try to get rid of all the other, I guess, weird multipliers, and one of them is a Windows multiplier. We press the start button and we do mouse. We go into mouse settings. We go here in the additional mouse options. We get this window right here. And we go into pointers. Or actually, no, it's pointer options. My bad. And you go on the 6th tick right here. And you disable pointer precision. What this does is if I open Paint real fast here. This is actually really hard to explain. But I kind of was like, I want to show you guys this because there's, you know, I just don't want you to click something without knowing what it actually does. So let's say this is your mouse pad, right? And this is your screen, all right? So let's say this is 1-to-1, right? So in a perfect world, you would move this much on your mouse pad, it would move this much on the screen, right? So what that option does, the enhanced pointer precision, right, is if you slowly are moving your mouse like this, right? And you still go the same distance as we did there, right? You would imagine that it would actually move the same distance, right? There would be an actual mirror. Well, it's not. Because with pointer precision, it actually takes the speed of the mouse into account as well. And if you're moving it slower, but you travel the same distance, it's going to be less of a move here. Let's say this much. That is what that option does. You don't want that on. You want an actual 1-to-1 movement, especially in a game like Counter-Strike. Sometimes you're picking angles that are very wide. Sometimes you're picking angles that are very close. Sometimes you're flicking. Sometimes you're tracking. You don't want those, right? So that's the first thing you want to disable. Whether you're on a gaming mouse or a non-gaming mouse, disable that acceleration bullshit now. All right, so we're back on the shooting range. Now we have 800 DPI on our mouse, on our gaming mouse. It can also be a normal mouse that just comes with one set DPI, because many of them do, and 800 seems to be default. Also, I just want to say, if your mouse does not support 800 DPI, you can go for like 900 or 600. Like, there's many numbers that are near 800 that are supported by some mice that don't like that number 800, so just go for that. But in general, 800 is going to be really good. And yeah, we have the Windows acceleration disabled, and now we're in the shooting range, right? And now we have one more number to change, and it is the holy mouse sensitivity right here. Keep the multiplier on 1. Keep invert off. Trust me, you don't want to have that on. I don't know who would play. I think when a CSGO guy plays on inverted, he has this mentality that he's like driving a plane. Like he sees his gun as a plane or some shit. I don't know. Anyways, so you have your sensitivity. First of all, set it to like any number that you like. Let's say 0.500, okay? That's going to be a pretty high sensitivity. So for me, I did actually pick this, but I was testing this before the video because I do some research before I get, recording. My sensitivity is actually exactly perfect for my mouse pad. Look, I have it on the left side now. Doing a full rotation. Bam. I pretty much do an exact 360 if I move my mouse from left side to the right side. Keep in mind though, I think for me that is 30 centimeters because I'm using a SteelSeries QCK Plus, but I have it vertically, right? Because you saw in the video there, right? And that for me is an exact 360 movement. When do you do 360 movements? Never. you never do a 360 movement. The most you will do in game is a 180. Some people say you should set your entire mousepad for a 180. That is a very, 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 very low. And that, for me, would introduce something called lazy aim. You don't want to have lazy aim. What is lazy aim? All right, I'll show you. All right, so let's say I'm playing a game. All right, this is not a real map in the game, but let's just pretend it is because it works in this scenario, right? I would go like that. I would be peeking. I would be playing like that, and I would just go like that. I wouldn't check this corner because my sensitivity is too low. This happens very, very fast. So be careful of how much you lower your sense. Like, there's gonna be pros that play with 800 DPI and like probably, let's say, 0.2 sensitivity. People that play half of my sense, right? If I would play that sense, I would be the laziest aimer in the world. I wouldn't be checking all the corners, Like, you want to be able to check all corners and comfortably play, but also hit targets that you want to hit, right? So how high you want to go is also another rule. So for the low, it's lazy aim, and for high sense, it's something called, I call it crosshair shaking. Whenever like you're watching someone and you can see their mouse like actually shake. I mean, I'm over exaggerating, but you will see this. Especially, well, I have friends that came over from other games that is not, CSGO type, and their crosshairs are shaking so badly. Keep in mind though that both lazy aim and shaking crosshair are completely person-to-person dependent. As I said, there are pros playing on half my sense, but they don't have lazy aim. You know what? In fact, their aim can be even more hyped up than mine, right? I just happen to be a more higher sense player, like naturally, And those are the two things you'll have to be careful of. Obviously, your aim will not be perfect as soon as you either lower or higher your sense to the one that you find comfortable. You'll have to practice a bit, but in general, lazy aim and crosshair shaking are something that you will be able to instantly see, right? Especially if your teammates are dead and they're spectating you, you can ask them like, yo, is my crosshair shaking? So yeah, those are the two common rules. Obviously, you should test out your settings. You should go in here on the range and try out if you can hit at least a couple of targets. But I think for most of you guys, the common rule of thumb is going to be between 0.5 or 0.500 and 0.25. So 250, right? Those are going to be the best sensitivities because I think those just fit most people. I'm not some sort of aiming god, but I do feel that most rules apply to me. And I actually played CSGO on the same sensitivity as I play Valorant at. And I did okay. Like, I wasn't a god, But I did hit LEM without any problem. Was just having fun. Was just chilling, Playing with my homies. Obviously, this gun range is going to be a little bit too easy. This doesn't mean you're actually a good aimer because you have to barely move your crosshair. And there's actually one more thing I want to talk about. And it's either Kovacs or Osu or other aim boosting programs. You guys may or may not know about them. I think Kovacs is very, very, very popular right now. I think the Fortnite community is like all over Kovacs. And it's like a program that basically does what we're just doing right there, right? It just makes targets show up and you click on them. Will that make you a good player? No, I'm sorry, it will not, right? Like a lot of people think it's gonna make them aim gods. Thing is that I will make a video about this. I just don't know how to word it yet. But aim is not just about having your crosshair at the right spot, man. There are so many more things that go into aiming. Aiming is such a big thing in Valorant that you can't just say, oh, right mouse sense makes you an aim god. So if you're missing your shots, I will say this, 90% of your time, it's not your sensitivity. It's something else. Whether it's your movement, your positioning, the way you peek, the way you spray control, it's something else. Almost always. So yeah, guys, pick a sense you can play with. You want to be able to play with this sense at least like 6 hours a day without getting lazy aim. That's, I think, a pretty good time to play. You can go low, you can go high. It's all about preference. If you really feel like you're like a one-tap god, yeah, you want to go a little bit lower. If you feel like you're more like a movement master and you feel like you're more aggro player, you like peeking angles, hey, play on a little bit higher. Why not? Like, it's all about comfort. It's all about being able to play the game. And the longer you play, the better you'll get. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys want to see more Valorant videos, make sure to press that sub button. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.
Break my heart, set it all afire. I can't be safe, so I get higher. And take my soul, throw it in the fire. I can't be safe, so I get higher. Was shot, then 10 top, pass out. Never seeing me again when I